Hey, my friends, it's Mark Pollock with Finding Pace. This is where we're trying to discover what it means to live and walk in the way of peace in our lives. And I say that especially around our own internal sense of peace in a world that's super chaotic, increasingly chaotic. How do we find peace within our own lives, and then also how that affects our interactions with other people, and to love God with all of our hearts and to love our neighbors as ourselves. Today, I want to just share with you a short verse that Jesus shared with us when he was here on earth that I think is just has this great significance to us around the idea of prayer. So I want to invite you to join me as we read through this a few different times and to think about what the Lord might be wanting to say to you in your life. I'm going to read Matthew chapter 6, verse 6, where Jesus is really in the middle part of the sermon, what we know as the Sermon on the Mount. And he's talking about prayer, but he says this verse that I'd like for us just to meditate on. And this first time that we read through it, just notice the words that might stand out to you as we read through this together. So here goes. But when you pray, Jesus said, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees you, in secret, will reward you. What are some words that stood out to you as we read through that? What's the message you might sense the Spirit is trying to say to you? Let's read it one more time or another time. He says, when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Take a minute. Let's just take a minute and think about, meditate on what the Lord might be trying to say to us as we try to live this wisdom out from the very mouth of Jesus. Let me read it one more time, and this time maybe ask yourself or be aware in yourself of an emotion that it's bringing up for you, whatever that might be. And then let that emotion, let God speak to you through that emotion. It might be an emotion that is propelling you and reminding you, for example, of the intimacy that you can have with God, and there might be a sense of relief. That's I'll just share. That's how I feel when I read this passage. But let's do it again. What emotion does this bring out for you? When you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees you in secret will reward you. What emotion what does this bring up for you? Just reading this verse. Think about it as this is Jesus, the very Son of God, speaking just to you. What's he want to say to you as you wonder about what's it mean to walk in a deeper sense of and practice of prayer? Ponder that for just a second. I'm going to read it one last time, but the question, the prompt that I want you to think about this time is, Spirit, what would you have me do with what you're trying to communicate to me right now? And I'm also going to read through it kind of my, I don't want to say translation because I'm not a Greek expert, but this is just kind of my response to what this passage is saying to me that I wrote a while ago. And I hope this fits for you, but it for me, this is what he's calling me into. So if this fits for you, so be it. But be asking, okay, Lord, now these certain words have stood out. I'm feeling these emotions. You're prompting me in my spirit about something. Now, what do you want me to do with this? It's more than just having a good, that was an interesting thought. Now what, as I develop my prayer life, what is it that you want me to do with this? Here's how I fleshed out Matthew 6:6. I wrote, but when you commune, that is pray, when you commune with Abba, rush into the refuge of the inner storehouse of your spirit. Shut the door on all those external distractions and there receive a renewed filling of love and revelation from Father. He's the one who is waiting for you to join him in that same secret inner chamber. Then He who sees what is done in that redeemed inner sanctuary will fill you with the restoration of his presence. That reminds me of right, this place is called Bir Lahairoi, the well of the living one who sees me. This is referencing the story of Hagar in Genesis 16:14, where in her being cast out of the presence of Abraham and Sarah, she's out in the wilderness and God comes and meets her in this place. And to me, this is what prayer is. This is the invitation into prayer. That we can commune, we can, the God who is our Abba comes in and dwells within us, his temple. And he there has communion with us. And he's fellowshipping with us and walking with us in that place. So I wonder if thinking about prayer not as just a grocery list of things we want to petition God for, but prayer as a communion with the God who sees me would be a place that we might be helpful for us to think about and practice. That I am in the living room. God is in my living room. I am in his living room, in that holy place that is. So what might that mean to us in changing our perspective of what prayer is? It's an invitation to come and be in union with him. I hope that's encouraging to you today. And as you're looking for ways to walk in peace and find the peace of God that's deep in your heart, may God bless you and fill you today as you have fellowship with him, as you commune with him in that secret place. Love you guys. Take care. Talk to you next time. Bye.